What's going on, guys? Maggie from iTech224. Today I'm going to give you a sneak peek at some of the major features in iOS 6. So at WWDC 2012, Apple announced their iOS 6 beta for developers, and they claim it has over 200 new features. Now in this video, I'm not going to go over every single one, but I'm going to go over the major features. So let's first off talk about Siri. There's been a few improvements including sports, movies, and restaurants. These features really make it a lot more powerful and really more useful for basic information. Now I really don't know anything about professional sports. I enjoy playing sports, but other than that, I really could care less about sports. So I'm just going to ask it a basic question and see what I get. Can you give me some information on LeBron James? And now it should bring that up.
LeBron James.
So now it brings me up his profile, gives me all the statistics about him, give me a picture about him, and it's really cool. You could do a ton of stuff just like this. You can ask for game times, you can ask for predictions of who's gonna win or stats of who's likely to win. It's really cool and it's really useful for people who really enjoy sports. So now let's go ahead and talk about movies. So now I can go ahead and ask, can you see what's playing at Edwards? And Edwards is a theater that is near me, so it's gonna look it up. And here we go. You can see these are all the movies that are playing at Edwards near my house. And so very cool that you see that. It gives you all the showtimes. And say I want to go watch Madagascar and I want to know a little bit more about it. Go ahead and click on it. It gives me a little bit of synopsis and Rotten Tomatoes score. And here at the bottom gives me all the showtimes. So this is really useful and definitely something I can see myself using in the future. So now let's move on to restaurants. I'm going to say, can you make a reservation at 9 a.m. for an Italian restaurant tomorrow? What the heck? Oh, there we go. I thought it was not working. All right, so here we go.
Italian restaurants. Okay. Campagna has some tables for two around 9 a.m. tomorrow.
All right, so as you can see, this is a restaurant near my house, and it says that they have an available seat at 11 a.m. It's close to 9 a.m. They didn't exactly have it, but you get some reviews here. This is through Yelp, and if I wanted to make a reservation, I would just click here, and it would take me to open tables, so I can make a reservation for that. So this is really cool and really useful, especially if you want to see what kind of restaurants are around you or what rating a restaurant has, and it's really useful. So the last update to Siri is that now you can open apps. So I'm going to go ahead and say, open Safari. And there you go. You can see that it opens Safari. So it's pretty cool. You can open all the apps, and it's really useful, especially if you have a ton of apps and you're not entirely sure which folder it's in. You can go ahead and just ask Siri which one you can just go ahead and ask her to open it up. So it's really cool. And that's about it for Siri. So one of the biggest things that Apple announced at WWDC was the new Maps program. They got rid of Google Maps for iOS 6 and now they have their own Maps client. I believe it's powered by TomTom, at least that's what it says in the app, and it's really powerful and includes a 3D view and turn-by-turn directions. So let's go ahead and give a demo of that now. Go ahead and go into Maps, and pretty much every map application looks the same in standard view, but it is totally redesigned and now you don't have all the things that you had before. So now this is San Francisco, and if I go ahead and pull up here, you can see I could drop a pin, I can hide traffic or show traffic, and I can go and list routes for if I'm doing navigation. You also have standard view, hybrid view, and satellite view, so those are the same as before. Another really cool feature is that now you can print maps. So if you go ahead and get directions, you can go ahead and print them out and give them to someone who doesn't have an iPhone, which is cool. So if we go ahead and zoom in here, this is San Francisco, like I said before. If I go right here, I believe this is where a lot of the tall buildings are. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into 3D view. Click this little 3D button here at the bottom. And now it kind of brings you into this landscape here. And it's kind of a flyover view. That's what they call it. So if I go ahead and go into, let's go into satellite. This is where you get to see all the cool buildings. So I did find that it's a little bit slow. I'm pretty sure that's just because it's a beta right now. Okay, so here are a lot of the big buildings. And here is I'm not entirely sure what this is called, but this is the biggest building there. So as you can see, I don't know how we can see it, but it is 3D and it is really cool. You can also turn and go around, which is really cool. This is a really cool feature in iOS 6, is that now you can turn around. You can also tilt the view, so I can go down or I can go up. And this is all using 2 fingers. So it's really cool, really makes you feel like you're there, and it really gives you a good idea of what the city actually looks like. Now, this is only for a few major cities, so not every city is going to have it, so most likely your hometown, if it's not a big city, is not going to have this, at least not yet. Either way, it is really cool, and it's really cool to see that they can do this, and hopefully in the future we're going to have it for every city, so you can get a real representation of every single city in the world. So now I'll give you a demo of turn-by-turn directions. So I'll go ahead and click directions from my current location to San Francisco. So you click this little arrow at the top, and that'll bring it up. So my current location to San Francisco. So I'll go ahead and just click route, and then it's going to give you a few different options of what route you could take. Then click start. So then you just follow these directions and it gets you where you want to go. So it's really cool. It goes into full screen mode. So if you're in the car or something, it's really a lot easier to see. You don't have to mess around with the top bar or anything like that. You just kind of click and it comes back. Then you go ahead and end that. And the turn-by-turn navigation is really cool. I haven't really used it because I don't need to have navigation in my car. But I trust that it works because the normal directions usually work. But now turn-by-turn is something that's really cool and a really great added feature. So those are the major changes in the Maps app, and it's really powerful, and I look forward to seeing a lot more things in this Maps app in the future, and I'm really glad that Apple did their own map app because they really did a good job on it. In iOS 5, they announced Twitter integration for most of the apps in iOS 5. Now with iOS 6, we now have Facebook. So if we go into settings, you can see that we now have Twitter and Facebook. And it works exactly the same as Twitter, but now it's just with Facebook. So something that's really cool is that there's deeper integration with it. So once you have your account signed in, you can like things in the App Store. You go ahead and like the App Store app, and it'll show on your Facebook feed. You can also add contacts to your contacts book, and it'll update regularly with their picture and their contact information. If it ever changes, it's automatically going to get put into your contact book. And also a really cool feature is that in your calendar, if you sync that up, it's going to show you when all your friends' birthdays are. I personally turn that off just because I'm very picky about what I have in my calendar, but it does work. I did have it on before because it's on by default, and it does definitely work. In addition to this Facebook app, now in the notification center, they added a widget where you can tap to tweet or tap to post to Facebook. So if you tap to tweet, you can see here that it'll bring up a tweet. I have two accounts here, so I have my YouTube account, so that you can change that there, and then also your Facebook here, and you can add a location or tag people in it. So it's really cool and really fast way to add Facebook or Twitter posts. So Facebook integration is really cool, and it really works well, and it's something that surprisingly a lot of people have really wanted. So another big change in iOS 6 is on the phone app. They did a pretty big redesign of the keypad, and I think it looks pretty slick. And even bigger than that, they added some features for when you are in a meeting or something like that and you just cannot answer your phone. So I'll go ahead and do a test call for my dad's phone, and so it's going to be calling right now. Wait for that to go through. Hopefully just a few seconds. There it is. Terrible picture of my dad. But as you can see, it's calling here. And if I want to not decline or answer, there's a little phone button here, and you just basically slide up there. And I can reply with a message or remind me later. So reply with a message, you go ahead and click on that. And it's going to say all these messages here that I can go ahead and reply with. So if I say, I'm busy, sorry, I can't talk, what do you need? It's going to go ahead and say that I missed the call, obviously. And now on my dad's phone, which I come over here and I'll show you guys here, it says, I don't know how well you can see it, it's super bright, but it does say the message that I just sent. So it's a really cool feature and really good for when you're in a meeting or something and you just can't talk. Now also you can set it to remind you later so that you won't forget that you got a phone call, because sometimes the one on your phone application just isn't enough. It'll send you a notification that you need to call them back. Also for the message, you can create your own custom message, so it'll make it sound more like you and it won't look weird coming from you. It won't look automated. You can set it to make your own message. Another cool feature in iOS 6 is the Mail app. They did a few updates to the Mail app, so now you have this thing called VIP. So VIP is a section where you can add people from your contacts list that you think are very important, and it'll go directly into this VIP notification list. So I have a few of my friends in there that I know I want emails from, so that I know when I get them. Basically, it just puts them in that folder so you can see all the emails from the important people that you care about. So that's not a huge feature, but it's something really cool, and it really keeps you a little bit more organized. So if I go ahead and go into all my inbox here, you can see another feature that they added. Now you have pull to refresh. So you can pull it up, and as you can see, it now refreshes it and adds the mail that comes in. But I like to keep my mailbox clean, so I pretty much delete everything or put it in its place when I get it read and stuff. So it's cool to pull down like this, and I really like the animation that they added. It's kind of like a gooey effect. It's really cool. and really effective, and it's something that they needed to add a long time ago, but glad we have it now. Another good feature is that when you go ahead and compose a message, normally before you would have to copy and paste emails or send them directly from the photo app, but now you can go ahead and select them within the mail app. So if you hold down and scroll over, you can see it says insert photo or video. So go ahead and click that, and it's going to take you to the camera roll, and I can go ahead and just insert this. So it's really easy and a lot more effective than using the other method, which is going into the app and copy and pasting it, and it just didn't work. So this is a lot better and a lot more efficient. So now I'm going to talk about some of the things that are redesigned in iOS 6. These aren't really huge features, but they're just things that look a lot different. So first thing is the music application. So if we go ahead and open this up, you can see that it's a full redesign. Everything works the same, it just looks a little bit different. So if I go ahead and click a song, let's see, we'll go to Matthew's playlist. Click this and stop it real quick so it doesn't play. And now you can see that it's a total redesign and it looks pretty cool. And I don't know why they chose the Halloween design with the orange and black, but I think it looks pretty sleek. So that's pretty much it for the music app. We'll go ahead and exit out of there. Also, the App Store and iTunes Store look a lot different. The apps are a lot bigger, so you can see the icon a lot better, and it's just laid out a lot better. So if you go to Featured tab here, you can see that you can go ahead and just scroll over. It's very similar to the iPad, so it's really a lot better, and it just looks a lot cleaner. Also, in the App Store, a really amazing feature. This doesn't really go with design, but it's really amazing that you could do this now, and it's something that they really needed to do a long time ago. So let's go and go to top free apps. You can see after I download this one, after I install my password, that now when you install it, it is just going to install it through the app, and you won't be taking out of the app and go to your home screen like before. This is something that they really needed to implement a long time ago. I have no idea why they never did this before, so that's really awesome that we have this now. And it's not really a design thing, but it is very cool that we can do that now. So now if we get out of that, we can go into Safari, and Safari has a few things updated with it. One thing is that when you go to a website, let's go to Google.com. Go ahead and go there. Now, when you want to share something or you want to, add it to your reading list or something like that, you click the share button here like normal. But now it brings up this, so you can visual representation of what you want to do. So I can email it, I can send it a message, Twitter it, or tweet it, and Facebook it, or a lot of these things. So this is a cool visual representation of everything that you could do before instead of that ugly list that you used to get. Also, if you go into landscape view, you can add full screen mode, which is really amazing because you can use the full real estate of your iPhone. Also, if we go into the weather application, you can see that it's a little bit different. Basically, it looks the same, but it's a little bit sleeker and everything's a little bit more crisp and elegant. So it's really nice, and I really like the way the weather app looks. So lastly, I'm going to talk about the Do Not Disturb feature. So Do Not Disturb is basically a way where you can turn off all notifications, but you're still going to receive all the notifications. So it's not going to be taking everything away and you won't receive it later. Basically, you turn this on and it's going to silence your phone, extremely silence it. So you're not going to even light up, or you're not going to buzz, nothing like that. It's just going to totally stop everything. So if we go ahead and turn it on, you can see that you get a little moon up here next to your time, and that's basically how you know it's on. So if we go into notifications here, you can go into Do Not Disturb and set all the things. You can schedule it so that at a certain time it will come on. So say you go to school and you want it to not ring or anything during school, you can go ahead and set it for the time that you're at school and it'll turn it on automatically. You won't have to think about it. So that's really cool. And also say you're taking a nap. You always take a nap at 2 o'clock, turn it on at 2 o'clock. You always wake up an hour later, turn it off at 3. So like I said, you won't miss anything. It's just not going to show you it at that time. Also, you can allow calls for certain people. So even if it's on Do Not Disturb, it will allow people to call you, certain people that you add, and also repeated calls. So if someone calls you more than once in a 3-minute period, it's going to let it go through because it seems like it's a major thing that you need to get addressed right now. So that is Do Not Disturb, and I think it's a really cool feature and could be updated more to be even more powerful. So guys, that's pretty much the major features about iOS 6. There's a few other things like FaceTime over cellular and Passbook. Passbook right now is not working because developers just haven't made things for it. But in the future, I will be definitely making videos on that when it does work. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video for more content on iOS 6. And follow me on Twitter at itech224 for more information on the channel and when I upload videos. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the major things in iOS 6. It really seems like a solid update. It's not exactly the major overhaul people were wanting, but I think it works really well and it's a solid update. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya!